Hey everybody, welcome to the newest episode of BlizzPlanet.com's StarCraft Summary. Now as always, I'm your host, the bearded gamer, Chris Arnone. Let's get right into that weekly news roundup.
You want a piece of me, boy?
So let's talk WCS. Now the WCS Asia Finals just happened this last week, and of course that means we've got some results for you. Now I'll tell you what, as you can imagine, South Korea absolutely cleaned up, took the entire top 6. So Protoss player Rain just walked right through the winner's bracket, won everything, and even won the grand finals, took the grand prize. Now he played against Protoss player Pardo in those grand finals, and once again took it just 2-0, just cakewalk the whole tournament for him. Now Pardo had to beat Protoss player Hero. Now this is the one with the capital H. Okay, there's 2 heroes. One's big H, one's little h. Both have a big O. I don't get it. But to get to the finals, leaving Hero at 3rd. Big H Hero. Little H Hero, another Protoss player, took 4th. Then Zerg players Curious and Roro finished in 5th and 6th place. Now, these will all be attending the WCS Grand Finals in Shanghai, along with the South Korea finalist, Creator, who in this case finished 7th. Now, Chinese player Com and Taiwanese player Sen will be joining them with their bids to round out all the Asian players. The World Championship is only about a month away at this point, all right? It's really right around the bend. And right now, we know everybody who's going to be there, okay? So check this out. Here's sort of the roster. We have 13 Protoss players, 5 of which are from South Korea, 4 Terran players, 15 Zerg players, and all these people competing in the championship series. Now, South Korea has 7 players attending, USA has 6, and then you have tied, Canada and Australia are each sending 2 players. No one else has multiple players attending. So still very much, South Korea, very dominant force in esports. Seems like USA is doing a really good representation. And you bring in Canada as well. I'll tell you what, North America really representing well at the World Championships. Let's talk BarCraft Kansas City, right? You guys are excited. Last time we talked a little bit about it. We just had a few items. Well, now we've got some details nailed down a little better. We got a date, time, and a place for this one. Now, it's going to be for the MLG Fall Championship. It's going to take place at Snow & Co. again. They were a great location we went to last time. There were awesome drinks, awesome place, great people, very accommodating, very nerd-friendly. It's good stuff. Now, things are going to kick off around noon, Sunday, November 4th. And it's going to go until the finals are over, however long that takes. And, we don't have an exact schedule from MLG yet for that event, so we don't know exactly how long that might go. But then again, last time, keep in mind, we thought things might go till 7 or 8. Things wound up more like around 5. So if you're going to come, don't wait until, 6 o'clock. It might be over by then. Come out early. Have fun with us. Hang out. Well, hang out with Eldora. I will actually be out of town and cannot attend this one. But you can still hang out with Eldora and a whole bunch of awesome StarCraft fans and watch the MLG Fall Championship. Now, Eldora is also working on some fun giveaways like we talked about before. He's in talks right now to try and get some Heart of the Swarm beta codes. No promises yet, but he is working on it. Now, he's also talking about possibly joining forces with One Nation of Gamers, which is a really cool organization that helps out BarCrafts around the country. And they have awesome sponsors like Razer to do some great giveaways. So hopefully he'll get that sort of worked out and get some more details to you. You can check him out on the show. Of course, go to BlizzPlanet.com and he'll get that information to you as soon as it becomes available. So be on the lookout for all that stuff. And of course, there's also a BarCraft Kansas City Facebook page, yet another place where you can find out details about that upcoming event. Let's also talk Extra Life. Eldora, he's just a busy guy right now, all right? He is going to be doing an Extra Life live stream on October 20th. But here, a few little details, okay? Now, we had a lot of details last time. Here's a few extra ones. Right now, if you go to BlizzPlanet.com, click that Extra Life link before the event kicks off, October 20th. If you spend $5, you donate $5, you will get 2 tickets, 2 opportunities to win that awesome SteelSeries Epic Legendary Mouse, okay? Really, really cool. Now, once it kicks off, it's going to be reduced back down to 1 entry for every $5. Just trying to ramp things up and get things going and get a good head start on this awesome event that all goes to great charity for children's hospitals. Now, currently he has raised over $100, but his target is $500, so he's still got a ways to go. Hopefully this will give people a little extra incentive, get an extra chance to win that awesome mouse if you go and donate $5 right now. Go check it out. Now, some really cool stuff, some really nice information. Now, recently Penny Arcade had an editorial. Now, They were talking about, the sort of the conventional wisdom in the video game industry is that single-player games don't work anymore, that they're old hat. That's not how it is. Every game now needs to have multiplayer. I mean, hell, if you watch my show and you're familiar with some of my sentiments, EA, they're fully convinced that every game has to have persistent online, and there are no other options, even if that means you're throwing really shitty multiplayer on the games that don't need it. They do it. Okay, that's my soapbox. Go watch my show. I got a whole lot more about that. Moving forward, Blizzard's own Rob Pardo, in fact, was quoted at one point. Now, he's the executive VP of game design. People asked him if big-budget single-player games are an endangered species. Now, this is his exact quote. I'm going to read here a little bit. He said, "I don't see there being a great business model for it these days. It's really sad. There's just a lot of elements out there that conspire to make those games difficult to make now. Between pirating or the ability to rent games, it's hard for publishers to pour millions and millions of dollars into a game and not see the return they need to make those budgets realistic." Okay? But recently, Blizzard itself, at least some statistics they have, seems to have some different data than what Rob Pardo is talking about. Now, StarCraft 2 is the example. Now, it recently came out that around half the people who buy that game only play the campaign. Right? You have this whole esports thing that's built up around StarCraft 2. I mean, it's absolutely huge. You have these big esports stars that are known globally, and yet, out of the people who buy StarCraft 2, only about half of them are actually getting online and playing. The rest are just sticking to that single-player campaign. Now, Blizzard's Bob Koleko, hope I said that right, he's a public relations guy, verified this, and he said, once again, I'm going to be reading a quote here, "It could be that half the people are only interested in the campaign and continuing the story. It may mean that we could do a better job at encouraging people to play multiplayer, that it's just not for pro players who have 300 APM." So it's, actions per minute. If you ever see a YouTube video of just watching those pro players' hand, it's absolutely insane. But that's what he's talking about there. Now, the rest of the article was talking about, single-player games, just adding multiplayer for the heck of it, something I've complained about a lot. Seeing a game franchise that's successful and saying, well, but if we really want success, we got to throw multiplayer on it, right? Right? No, not right. That's part of what that editorial is talking about as well. Or games like Gears of War, where not even 50% of their player base actually goes and plays online. Maybe because it's 360 and they can all go play Halo. I don't know exactly why, but that is a statistic that's out there for Gears of War. And then again, you have popular indie games like Torchlight that just don't even offer multiplayer to begin with. Or, let's go even more popular, Skyrim. No multiplayer. Sold huge, okay? Massive selling game. No multiplayer whatsoever. And no online passes. So, really kind of cool stuff to show you there that, multiplayer is not the end-all, be-all. It's not really where it's at. There is still very much a thriving community of single-player people who just don't like to play with other people. But, of course, the bottom line here is we're talking StarCraft 2, and it's very curious that only about half of people who play StarCraft 2 are people who actually go and play online. The other half, it's just the campaign. So, let's go into questions, okay? Like to end a lot of times with a question. So we want to know, why do you play StarCraft, all right? Do you play it for the campaign, to continue that story? Are you just itching to get Heart of the Swarm to continue that story? Are you more the multiplayer person? Do you love getting online with your friends, maybe getting online with strangers, and just playing the dickens out of that game with other people? Are you even playing online? Is that something that you like to do? Do you not even own it, and you're just into esports? I know there's some people that are out there that, they're terrible at real-time strategy games, but esports is pretty darn cool. And going along with that answer, we also want to know something, okay? What do you want out of the StarCraft Summary Report? Now, we've had a lot of issues trying to get people to answer some of these questions. Are we not covering some things that you want covered? Do you maybe want us to go a little more detail with certain things, a little less detail with certain things? What do you want out of our weekly StarCraft Summary? So along with all these questions, all right, throw down some awesome answers in the comments right now. First off, we're going to highlight those best ones on next week's show, but also we will really take to heart some suggestions you might have for the show. We want you to love this show, so we want to do the things that make you love the show and want to watch and want to comment and want to tell your friends all about it. See, I got Paul so excited he shook the camera. You see what happens? All right. And while you're on YouTube, why don't you go check out The Bearded Gamer Show, all kinds of awesome beardy video gaming goodness, and go to blizzplanet.com. All the news, reviews, Great community, everything you need to know about Blizzard Entertainment games. We'll see you guys next time.